Hello there, I'm Wolfie Smith and I'm an artist who lives here in Asheville, North Carolina. And as you may remember, Asheville was devastated by Hurricane Helene when she hit in September.
More than 100 people are dead from Helene, a number that's still expected to rise. Hundreds more are missing, and roughly 2.1 million customers are without power across the region. New drone video shows just how bad the situation is in Asheville. The city's now isolated after roads leading there flooded and cell towers were knocked down. One emergency official calls it biblical devastation.
I'm standing here in the River Arts District in Asheville, and it's a huge part of the way of life in Asheville. It's a huge contributor to the economy here, to the tourist economy, and thousands and thousands of artists live here and they make their livelihoods here. So when Helene hit and the River Arts District was decimated, they all lost their money. They all lost their livelihoods. Most of them lost valuables, some of them lost their houses, sadly some of them lost their lives. So how bad was it? Well, they call it the River Arts District for a reason, and that's because it's right next to the French Broad River. When the water came from the hurricane, it all, as you know, flows down to the lowest point, and that happened to be here, this basin where the River Arts District is located. And it was so bad. This was under 25 foot of water. What does that mean? Well, I would be completely underwater. I'm not 25 feet tall. But you see the marquee sign here? That was almost completely covered in water. And that was for a couple of square miles here. Everything was under 25 feet of water. Billions and billions of gallons had accumulated here, and everything was lost. So how did Superclear and their beautiful liquid glass product get involved? Well, I have a friend, Rob. I've known him for 35 years and he's an artist here in Asheville. And Rob had this fantastic idea. Why don't we take things that are found here in the debris field of the flood in the River Arts District and turn those things into art? So the piece that I claimed for what was to become a pretty momentous art show was a large street sign that said River Arts District open. And of course, it's not open, it's devastated. So I wanted to do something big. It was a big sign. So I went to my friend Bill, who owns a thermoplastics place, and said, I need a big tray to make a resin piece in. And he gave me one. Then I contacted the people whose resin I've been using for years, the wonderful Superclear guys and their liquid glass. And if you've never used liquid glass, you certainly should, because it is as advertised, liquid glass. It's amazing. And within a day, they got back to me and they said, we're in, we're going to help you, tell us what you want. And that was amazing because that made it happen. Okay, we're going to do our first pour. This is, everything in the show is reclaimed. And so this pan is actually reclaimed. I've cleaned the inside out, but you can see it's buckled and it's been a little bit distorted. This was under 4 foot of water and mud when we got it. So everything here in the show. So this is the first pour of the piece here. It's so exciting. So this is the marquee. It's like an Aladdin's cave of art. Every type of art was represented here from over 300 artists. It was the most spectacular thing. If you've ever visited Asheville, you've probably walked through the marquee. It was wonderful and beautiful. My area was over here, Wolfie's area over here. I had t-shirts and prints and framed pieces and resin pieces on a beautiful big furry shelf, all wiped away. Completely gone. Everything was gone. You can see from this footage, it was total and utter devastation. I found part of my Queen Elizabeth Union Jack frame hanging from a power cord just over here. I found some of the Kamala mugs here, and I found some other interesting pieces, and I thought I'm going to incorporate those pieces into the resin piece with the sign as the backdrop. So I would put these pieces in the various layers and call it the flood. Okay, here's the second pour. Starting to put some debris in now, and it's starting, I'm loving the way this is looking so far. So here we go. Second pour going in here. It's very exciting. Ironically, because this is a piece about the turbulence of what happened, having some bubbles in isn't necessarily a particularly bad thing. Because in the turmoil of what happened down at the River Arts District, there will have been water and mud and everything churned up. And that's what we want to express in this piece. And so having a few bubbles isn't a bad thing. I don't actually mind there being bubbles in it because of what it's meant to be, the turbulence of it all, but... So pour number 4 on this enormous project that's sponsored by Liquid Glass. And this is getting to a monumental size, all raising money for the River Arts District, which, as you know, here in Asheville was completely decimated by Hurricane Helene. Look how beautiful that is. And it sets like glass. It's amazing stuff. I've been using it for years. That's what we want. Oh, excuse me. See excitement. Okay, so we're coming up to the final pours, which as you can see are blue. The piece is looking amazing and the liquid glass is looking like glass. And so this here is going all around here. And we have another one of these to put in as well. And then we've got to leave it for 48 hours, really let it cure. And then we're going to take it from the mold and fingers crossed we're good for the old art show. Otherwise, well, it's art, isn't it? It's art. Oh, she's coming. Whoa. Look at that. That's cool. On the opening night of the show, we had over 1,000 people through, and we sold, I think, 8 or 9 of the pieces. We raised $15,000, $20,000 on the first night. It's just fantastic, and we continue to raise money. And the money goes to the River Arts District, and the River Arts District Association distributes that money to artists that have lost everything and need support. So what happens now? Well, we rebuild. And as you can see, it's already started to happen. Temporary buildings are going up, businesses are opening, but it's going to be a while before all of the galleries are back. But not everything was lost. Here I am in Depot Street, another part of the River Arts District. And this is at a higher elevation and didn't get hit as bad as the galleries you saw down there. And the studios are open, the galleries are open, artists are making things. So what we need, come to Asheville. We're open for business. Yes, we got hit by the hurricane, but now we're rebuilding and we're open for business. Here on Depot Street, the galleries are open. Downtown, the restaurants are open, the shops are open, the galleries are open, the hotels are open. So come to Asheville. We need you to come and support us. If you do that, you're going to help us rebuild. So one final thought as I leave the River Arts District, and I'm going to go back to my studio to start making more work. In actual fact, I'm just working on a new piece where I'm using liquid glass, where I have scanned my face and 3D printed it, and I'm submerging it into resin, which looks really freaky, if nothing else. I mean, look at this face. It's going to be freaky, right? But if you're watching this, you're probably a super clear fan, and you're probably a customer of super clear and liquid glass. What I would ask is, remember how they helped. Remember how they came out and immediately said yes. So support them. If you're doing a resin piece, you know exactly which company to use, don't you? And I just want to personally thank them for coming through and making this happen. And support Asheville, support the River Arts District. That's what we need.